Okay, so this is all great. It's a bunch of ideas. How does that work in practice? Now, some of you guys may recognize this. This is the Warcraft 3 Battle.net ladder system. It's a multi-part ladder. And these are, over here. This thing over here is just the main screen, which I'll come back to in a moment. This is actually the Battle.net website, where you can view the rankings, see how people are scored and things like that. And this is the player's profile on the bottom right of my screen over here. So, as we were working this ladder, this actually was a game that was a little bit before my time at Blizzard, but I was involved in the team that was really trying to revamp it, fix things that weren't going very well with it. So we identified a couple of behaviors that the players of our ladder were looking for, or the players of our ladder exhibited, I should say. So as you can imagine, a ladder is a very competitive thing. By definition, you take a place from someone else. There's always an opponent there that you're trying to crawl your way up. So for the most competitive players, the reward mechanic is very obvious. You make it visible. There's a big website where you can go. You can see it in the game also. Say, okay, you're the first place guy, the second place guy, the third place guy. Here's all the stats. Here's your complete achievement set, all in one nice, tiny place. So the problem we ran into with this behavior is that very few people are A, good enough to actually get up to the top of the ladder, and also that very few people are really motivated to play that way. So the way, for those of you who haven't played Warcraft 3 online, there's what's called an automated matchmaking system. So the mathematical heart of it is an ELO system that's used in competitive chess also. But there's really all sorts of different algorithms and formulas that are sitting on top of that system as well. So what it's essentially doing is, regardless of how much you've played, it's matching you against players of the same perceived skill level. So that's a hidden number. It's not related to how many games you've played, what your win and loss record is, or what your ladder ranking is. So if I'm a new player in the ladder and I play 20 games and I kick everybody's butt that I encounter, it's going to very, very quickly accelerate me to play the top players in the ladder. So you don't have this whole mechanic of, wow, I have to go grind 1,000 games that this guy's played just to even get up here. So one point of frustration that we found with players is that this actually kind of forces your win-loss ratio to a 50-50% ratio. You're almost always playing people at your exact same skill level. And most people that are playing these kind of games are used to being a good player and having a 70, 80, 90% win record. So we had to really start looking around for some other motivational factors. So one of them you can see over here. This was the icon system we implemented in the game. This is kind of rewarding the person who plays a lot. They may not be doing very well, and they're kind of always stuck at this bottom 20, 30% of the ladder. It is a non-skill, non-rating, non-anything based system besides how much you've played, simply. And quite surprising to us, actually, this is one of the most popular features of the Warcraft 3 ladder. So let's say this guy over here has played, I think the cutoff is 200 games with a human player. It doesn't matter how many he's won or lost, but now he gets this cool little icon that upgrades it. There's a whole set of icons for each race that you're playing. And it's basically a reward mechanism for the person that likes playing ladder games, is generally content with the level of matching. They're playing people that are the same skill level. But at the same time, they'll never get to the top. So another one, this is going back to Richard Bartle to some extent also. You have some people that will never do anything in the ladder. They don't really care about the competitive part anymore, but they're experiencing Battle.net, they're playing with their friends a lot. And so this is it's almost like a little social networking app within the game. I mean, you've got your normal stuff like your scores and your different ladders you've played on over here. But there's different personalization elements also. So between these three screens, you're actually targeting three completely different groups of players. One being the hardcore, I want to win it all, kick everybody's butt type of person. One being the, I'm content with how the mechanics of the ladder system are working, but I know I'll never get to the top, so here's a little reward. And finally over here we have the person that really isn't too involved in the community, doesn't play the ladder often, but just likes hanging out at Battle.net, playing games like Dota with their friends, which currently don't involve the ladder very much. Without touching anything that's really game design related, if a lot of you guys worked, I know there's some people here that are in the game industry in Singapore. Have you guys worked on multiplayer systems before? Ladders and I see some hand nodding. it tends to be very difficult because no mathematical system known today at least can really account for every single type of player that you have out there. So for example, ELO is what they use in chess, and it's very basic. Depending on how well the person is rated that you play against, if you win or lose, there's a proportionate increase or decrease in your score system. If you do something like that on the ladder without any modification to it, what's going to happen is that there's very little incentive for the top players to play. I mean, once you have a 2,000 rating, nobody's going to get close to you anyways. Why keep playing, right? So in the case of Warcraft 3, we had to institute a decay system. Every week, as long as you don't complete a set number of games, your, well, in our case, XP, or your ELO score decreases. It just forces people to keep coming back, keep playing, and trying things out. Now, the problem that you run into here also is that, again, you're rewarding and punishing different players differently. For me, maybe 2 games a week is a lot. For the guy who plays 200 games a week, the 2 games is completely trivial. So we actually scale that completely to the ranking of the ladder. The higher the level you are, the higher the minimum requirements are for playing that week also. So before I jump in, any questions about this in particular? No general questions, just the Warcraft 3 ladder.